fucking gnat in here. A stupid gnat right here somewhere flying around.
Right as you went live.
Yeah, well, it's what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Welcome everyone to Spread and Bread. Welcome all 0 people who have ever listened to this. But that's fine. It's entertainment.
Hey.
Oh yeah, what are we on the week?
No, we got some listeners.
Yeah, you beat me last week. I said you beat me last week.
Oh, nice.
7 and 8.
And records?
6 and 9. 7 and 8 and 6 and 9.
Yeah, that's a step back for me, but still taking steps forward, I think.
All right, let's get after it. Zion plays tonight.
Yeah.
I want to watch
let's do that. Not a lot of patience tonight.
And you don't feel well, so.
Right.
Philly 14-point favorites on the road tomorrow night at Houston.
You take it.
That's way too many points, especially for a Thursday night game that looks typically like shit all the time. So I'm taking Houston.
Yeah, I'm doing the same. I had 14 on a Thursday night. Philly on the road, they're gonna lose a game. Texans are frisky. Why not?
All right. Vegas. There's a lot of weird lines this week. A lot of shitty games. A lot of home dogs. Las Vegas is favored after getting shut out, by the way, which is insane. Favored by 1.5 on the road at Jacksonville. You want me to go? Oh, you're frozen.
Yeah, not a chance. I'm taking the Raiders. Are I back?
I heard basically nothing.
I didn't say anything because I saw you freeze, so I stopped talking. Okay. So, there's no way I'm taking the Raiders after last week. They couldn't score a point in New Orleans. Jacksonville's not necessarily a good team, but how the Raiders are favored here, I have no idea. I think this is a good game to target fantasy-wise. I think this could be a shootout. I'll take the Jags.
Yep. The last week was so bad for the Raiders. To get shut out is ridiculous. I don't trust them, so why would I ever give points on a team that I don't trust at all? And I got to trust the Jags, but they're at home, so I'll take Jacksonville. Yep. Next game, Chargers favored by 3 on the road. Chargers have not looked good this year, and they're on the road in Atlanta, and they're favored by 3.
This line makes no sense.
Correct.
I mean, agreed?
Yeah.
It makes no sense. Atlanta's played well. The Chargers really haven't. Why would the Chargers be favored? I don't know. So clearly, my pick here. I'm taking the Falcons. That just makes no sense.
Me as well. Moving along, Miami favored by 5 on the road at Chicago. Chicago made a couple trades. Maybe looking a little frisky now, or not.
I'll let you take this one.
My trend this week was home dogs that I'm taking, so I'm taking Chicago.
Yeah, and I'm going to continue to just assume that the Bears had that outlier against the Patriots. I don't think they're a very good team. I don't think it's late enough in the season for them to have a home field advantage. I think the Dolphins have been good most of the season, so I'll take the Dolphins here. All
righty. Carolina on the road at Cincy. Cincy, after looking like shit against the Browns. I was like, as that game was going on, I'm just like thinking of our conversation during it.
Yeah.
Like I took Cleveland, and it was, I shouldn't have, but Jesus, what the hell's going on in the NFL?
And that's a larger conversation. Is it the best season in the history of the NFL or the worst? I think it's the worst. I mean, I can't remember where there's just, you can't count on anybody outside of maybe like Buffalo, Kansas City, Philly. Nobody else is dependable. The quality of the games is really, really low.
Yeah.
Even when it's marquee teams, I think it's been an awful NFL season. Like, it's a bad product right now.
Yeah, I mean, some people would say that it's parity and it's anyone can win, so that's what's awesome. But yeah, like you said, the quality of the game itself is not. They're not like exciting games, and it's just sloppy and ugly at times.
I think the problem too, though, is the quarterback play is so bad across the whole league that there's guys starting games that have no business being a starting NFL quarterback.
Right.
Taylor Heineke, good for that guy that he's getting an opportunity. Maybe he'll earn some money because of it. He should not be starting NFL games. It's like the guy's a backup. Yeah. Jameis Winston should not be making as much money as he is and be considered the number one quarterback for the Saints. The guy's bad. So I think the quarterback play in general is what's causing all this.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's Carolina, Cincinnati. I'm taking Carolina because I'm taking points this week.
Yeah, and just to differentiate, I'm going to go Cincinnati. They looked horrible last week. Carolina's so bad. It's in Cincinnati, so I'll take the Bengals.
All right. Indy on the road at New England. New England is favored by 5.5.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and take New England in this one. Indy's, there's just no way. Ellinger, I'm assuming, is going to continue to be the quarterback. I have no reason to really trust the Patriots because they burned us a couple times this year, but I'm still going to take the Patriots here.
Yeah, I mean, I think we thought the Patriots had something going for a while after the Packer game. They look good, and then they look like shit against the Bears. I have no reason to take Indy other than I'm getting 5.5 points, and that's why I'm doing it.
Sure.
Buffalo favored by 12.5 on the road to the Jets. This one for me is like I just compared to a week before. So Buffalo plays Green Bay, and they're getting 11.5 points, or given 11.5. Now they're given more to what I think is a better team. I mean, the Jets beat the Packers, and it's at the Jets. So I'm taking the home dog Jets.
Yeah, I'm taking the Jets here too. That number just is way too big in a divisional game at home. And it's going against a lot of rules, if you follow this. So yeah, I'm taking the Jets.
All right. Kirk Cousins revenge game. Vikings favored by 3.5 at Washington.
Yeah, and I'm not just because I hate them, but at some point the Vikings they're going to have that inexcusable loss. I thought it was going to be last week. I'm going to double down. I'm going to take the Commandos here.
Yeah, I'm taking. I take Minnesota because I hate them, so I just expect them to blow out win every game by big. But I'm taking Washington here just because again, there's so many home dogs, and I think that they've played people tight, and I think there is going to be like their Vikings are 6-1. That's at some point something's got to give.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping it's this weekend. So I'll take Washington as well. All right, Seattle, who has looked good all year, is underdogs to the Cardinals, who have looked like shit all year.
Yep, I'll let you take this one.
Arizona's favored by 2. I mean, I just kind of summed it up. Like, I don't know why I would ever take Arizona or give up 2 and give 2. Like, there's no way. Seattle's looked great all year. Not great all year. Not great, but they've looked pretty good all year. I'm taking Seattle. I'll take the 2 points in Seattle.
Yeah, this one makes no sense. Arizona's not necessarily a home field advantage of any kind. And their fans are clearly not going to be in it, even if they're there. So it really makes no sense. I'm taking Seattle.
Yeah. All right, next game, the Rams, who by all accounts suck bad, are on the road at Tampa. Tampa is favored by 3. Is Kupp questionable, or is he out, or what?
He's going to eventually be back, but I'm guessing if he plays, he's going to be limited in this game.
Okay. I mean, I'm taking Buffalo because I'm Buffalo. The Bucks. Sorry. I was just looking at my board.
Take Brandon Jacobs.
Take Brandon Jacobs. I'm taking Tampa Bay.
This is a game that these are 2 teams that have so much talent and money invested in these guys. And this just really shows you when quarterbacks get old, some of the stuff that starts to go on. And, these are the last 2 Super Bowl winning teams.
Yeah.
And they're bad, really bad. I'm kind of just staring at it going, I don't know what to do.
This was a tough one. This was a tough one for me.
I'll take the Rams just to go different than you.
Okay. Sunday night game. Tennessee is on the road at Kansas City. Kansas City is favored by 12.5. If you looked at the playoff standings right now, Tennessee is the 2 seed. Kansas City is the 3 seed. And the 3 seed is favored by 12.5. I'm taking Tennessee because they typically always keep games close. 12.5 is way too much for me.
Yeah. And I think it's a ridiculous number. I'm taking it anyway, though. I'll take the Chiefs here.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'll take it.
All right. Baltimore favored by 2.5 on the road at New Orleans. This was another one. This was another tough one for me.
Yeah, I'm just gonna follow the home dog rule here. I'm gonna take the Saints. Baltimore's really inconsistent. Obviously, the Saints are inconsistent too, but I'll take New Orleans just because they're at home and they're getting the points. So
Yeah, I ended up doing the same thing, and I think Baltimore can get scored on, and I think New Orleans can actually score. So
yeah,
kind of feeds into that.
right.
All right, just like that, we're on to the Packer game. At Detroit. Why are the Packers favored in any game right now? I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. It's just like this. I feel like Vegas tends to kind of give into people's traditional beliefs about the way games are supposed to go because Green Bay, at least in recent years, has played really well there. It's never been a home field advantage for Detroit. So I'm not sure. Do we need to talk about Sunday night?
Yeah. I'm assuming. Well, there's not a whole lot to talk about, right? I mean, they covered, which was like the worst cover ever. But
It was not a good cover. I think the thing that and I was listening to this on the radio and kind of jumped out to me when they went through it is Green Bay statistically, and again, they're not better than Buffalo. They're not even close to as good as Buffalo, whatever. But statistically, they almost kind of outplayed the Bills. They ran the ball better. I think they actually had more yardage. They had more. They actually won the turnover battle.
I heard that today too. Someone said that if you looked at if you compared the stats, it was really even.
Yeah. I thought at times Buffalo played kind of poorly, and I think Buffalo really let off the gas. I think if Buffalo had kept it on the gas, they could have won that game by 30 going away. And I think that kind of played into it. I think Buffalo got conservative down the stretch. I guess, there's a lot of people who are trying to take away a lot of positives for the Packers coming out of that game. It's a place they've never won, which is just shocking to believe that there is a stadium in the NFL where the Packers have not won, and Buffalo is one of them.
Wow, I did not ever hear that. That's crazy.
Yeah, so they're now I think 0-7 there all time.
Wow.
So, but could you have some positive takeaways offensively? I think maybe you could. Dobbs being one, them committing to Aaron Jones being another. But defensively, God, they sucked so bad. And I've defended the defense, and it wasn't even as much as the way they played as the way they acted. Just a bunch of idiots and just talking trash and like trying to get in their heads. I'm like, you're feeding into what Buffalo is, and Buffalo's got a ton of confidence right now. You shouldn't have any. You're a 3-4 team. Just shut your mouths and play and make plays. And hey, if you get up on them or something like that, then start talking trash. But they came out and were John. They just look like idiots on national TV, and I thought the defense was embarrassing.
Someone I read, I don't know who the hell was, what podcast I was listening to, but apparently someone asked LaFleur about Barry and his job security, or whatever, and LaFleur looked at him like it was like the most insane question ever, like that would ever be talked about.
Yeah,
it's like, dude, you've got 7 first-round picks playing, and you can't do anything. Like you have not figured anything out. Clearly, there's an issue.
Right. You got 7 first-round picks. One of whom gets kicked out of the game for shoving a coach because he's got no composure. And again, we get into this argument with Mike all the time about, well, is that the coach's fault or whatever? Like certain teams do that stuff and certain teams don't do that stuff. Like it was clear that the Packers had this idea in their mind that they're going to go out and like intimidate Buffalo or whatever. And it clearly didn't work. It was just stupid. So,
yeah. All right.
I
don't know if there's anything else to move on. I mean, or to talk about. Lazard's back this week, right?
Sounds like it. Yeah,
I think I saw.
Sounds like it.
Whether that's what do we? All right, so let's get before we get to the game. Trade deadline was yesterday.
Yeah,
the Packers did jack shit.
Yep. And they're apparently in the talks for Claypool.
Yeah, so they both offered the same round pick, but the Pittsburgh figured that the Bears would be worse, so they took the better of the pick. They thought that was what I heard, what I read, whatever.
Yeah, makes sense.
Could you not at that point just said we'll throw in a 7th rounder with it?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, only if you had an opportunity to counter. We don't know that they had an opportunity to counter.
True.
So here's the thing. Like, okay, if adding Chase Claypool for a second rounder, in my opinion, I don't even know if Chase Claypool's better than any second rounder you would have gotten. I don't really like him all that much as a player. I know he's had a couple breakout games. Would your opinion of the Packers season have changed at all if they had Chase Claypool now?
Well, let me go back first. Is he better than Christian Watson? Because that's the second rounder.
Okay, well, we don't know that. I think Watson has more potential. I think Claypool's ceiling is like, 40 catches for 500, 600 yards in a season. He's not.
Are we going to have one receiver that has that this year?
Probably not. Dobbs is the only one I think who even has a chance to do anything like that. But I think the problem with the offense, at least from a receiver position, is you got a lot of, if it were Madden guys, you got a lot of guys that are like 60, 65s running around out there. Like they're okay, but his security blanket is Aaron Jones, and you can only go that way so many times, and Jones isn't on the field every single time.
Right.
It's just a lot of really average talent, and it's killing them right now, especially as the injuries come up. And you've got guys like Toure, who is a developmental player who's got to play. They just don't have that head and shoulders guy like Adams was. And I don't think they necessarily need a guy like Adams, but it's just the talent is just so average.
Yeah. I don't know if Claypool's good. I feel like it was last year, maybe 2 years. It was like, okay, this dude's like, he's really good.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I just feel like it fell off into nothing. And I was just like, did I just miss something? Like Deontay Johnson's ahead of him in Pittsburgh. And then, that's like, he's like the fourth receiver. I'm like, what did I miss? What happened here?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened there. I don't know if some injuries caught up to him and he lost a step or what. But yeah, I want to say he had just an absolute massive fantasy game once with like 10 catches for like 150 yards and 3 touchdowns. It's just something crazy.
Yeah.
And
I don't know.
And it had a couple really good games that season. I want to say that's 2 years ago. And then just kind of nothing from him since. I don't really see with the Bears. They have Mooney and some of these other guys. I don't really know what interest they have in him, especially a team like the Bears who needs picks desperately to rebuild talent. Why are you giving up a second round pick for that guy? But
and with a quarterback that doesn't really throw all that much either.
Right.
Or that they don't even allow to throw. Yeah, I don't know. It was surprising. Vikings got better, right? They got Hawkinson.
Yeah. That's certainly a good pickup for them. Obviously, don't feel like Irv Smith is the answer there at tight end.
Well, he's out. I think some of that he's out 6 to 8 weeks, isn't he?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense then, because I didn't realize that Smith had gotten hurt.
I thought I read that.
But yeah, Hawkinson's a good player. That's for sure. I wanted the Packers to draft him when the Lions did, and the Vikings are loaded with talent. They usually are, but they're going to find a way to piss it away. There's no question. It's just
and what are
the way they do things.
What are the Lions doing? Why would you trade Hawkinson?
Yeah, I'm really not sure, because I would think that he would be part of a rebuild. He's still young.
Right.
He plays a position that's really valuable in the NFL right now. A lot of your really good teams have a tight end that they can rely on. I don't know why you'd go away from a guy like that who's a proven commodity in the NFL. It really makes no sense on their part.
Yeah, I was totally confused by it. I have no idea what the hell that would.
And to trade a guy like that in the division, it's just insane. It just breaks every rule that you think you'd have in terms of some of these deadline deals. Like you're good, I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, Packers are at Detroit. Packers are favored by 3.5. Jamal Williams revenge game.
Could be some of that. Yeah, could be some of that. And I don't think there's any question. Detroit's got a lot of weapons. Obviously, Hawkinson not being there takes one away. They're going to be able to move the ball. They're going to be able to score. And this isn't Homer kind of talk or whatever. I just feel like matchup wise, and not like the Packers offense really matches up well against anybody. But Detroit's defense is so unbelievably bad that you got to think that this is the get right game. It has to be. If this isn't the get right game, they've had, the Giants was a get right game. I think the Jets, I still am going to say the Jets was a get right game, even though their asses kicked. They should have won that game.
Yep.
And clearly the Commanders was a get right game, and they couldn't do it. This is kind of, in my opinion, if they don't win this game, they've got no hope to make the playoffs. And they're probably at that point right now where there's really no hope to make the playoffs. But if you can't get right now, if you can't get that offense going right now against the worst team, the worst defense in the NFL, indoors, where you've played well, Rodgers has always played well there. It may be the last time I pick them all season. I'm going to pick the Packers here.
You're insane. Didn't we say like the last week or maybe the last 2 weeks, there's no way that we'll ever pick the Packers?
I may have said I'm not sure how I can.
I'm not touching them. 3.5 points? Are you kidding me? Zero reason to think that they can even win. They're going to lose this game. This is going to be we think that that we're already at rock bottom. I do not think we're at rock bottom.
Do you think they could get blown out in this game?
Yeah, I do. I think there is a chance because I think Detroit can score. Even without Hawkinson, I think Detroit can score. I think we're going to have a problem with Swift and with Jamal Williams. And St. Brown too. Like I think Detroit could easily beat us by 2 touchdowns.
I think so too. I feel like there's, I don't know why. And again, it might just be a homer pick, and that's okay.
Like think about that. If we got in like a track meet, if we got into a shootout, why would you think the Packers could score more than the Lions?
Yeah, I don't. The Lions defense is just that bad. And I think the Packers defense, as much as I hate them right now, maybe they can make a couple plays. I don't know. 2 bad teams. It's 2 bad teams playing each other.
Yep.
Got to pick one, right? I mean, that's the story of this podcast all year. We've got 2 awful teams, a point spread that makes no sense. You got to pick somebody.
Yep.
And that's what we're doing.
Yep. All right.
So you pick one side and I'll pick the other.
Yep. All right, DFS Thursday night. What do you got?
Yeah, I think a good way to go is to try and find some cheap pieces of that Eagles passing offense. So Dallas Goedert is a nice way to go. He's heavily involved, especially in the red zone. So I like him tomorrow night. Sunday games is a little more tough, and I'll admit I'm scrambling a little bit here. So I was a little more lazy with these picks. But again, I think that Jacksonville Vegas game is going to be a shootout. So I like Trevor Lawrence at quarterback. I think he's going to have possibly a rushing touchdown and multiple passing touchdowns. At running back, I like Joe Mixon, the Bengals, against Carolina. And then I'm actually going to double down on the Jags and go Zay Jones at wide receiver for a little T-Law Zay Jones stack. In DFS.
Okay. All righty. Prize Picks, once again, by the way, went 2-0 last week.
Yeah, you're
fucking insane. And I don't think I've bet any of them. I've never, I have them, but I don't have them together. Like, I should just be like, all right, here are my picks for the, you know what I'm going to do right now?
Like, just submit them as you're saying.
I'm going to submit them as I'm saying right now.
And you definitely are going to lose these for sure.
It's definitely, this is not happening. There's no way how this is going to win. So my pick for tomorrow night is going to be A.J. Brown over 5 receptions.
Yeah.
All right, we'll lock that in. And then my pick for Sunday, let me just double check it, is DJ Metcalf over 62.5 receiving yards.
DJ Metcalf.
DK, sorry. We are awful. You can't even say it. You can't. Thank you for catching. We have a friend named DJ. That's what
He looks a little bit like he's kind of built like DK Metcalf in a way.
Similar.
Real similar build. Probably almost as fast.
Bet has been placed.
Okay, well, those are definitely going to lose now.
Yep, they are. But that's what I was thinking to myself. Like, why don't I just submit it while I'm on doing the podcast? That's what I should be doing.
Yeah.
So I just did it.
Right,
so.
There it is. So a couple things.
Yeah.
How bad are our AGFL teams?
I'm awesome. I don't know what you're talking about. They're fucking garbage. They're all
my team is easily the worst. It might be the worst yearly fantasy team I've ever had.
You beat me, didn't you?
I did beat you. I lost to Mike last week.
Okay.
It's just putrid. I just so bad, and I can't find anybody to pick up, and it's just embarrassing.
I'm loading it. I don't think there's anyone to pick up at this
There's
point.
nobody to pick up. I mean, what are you going to do? You're basically trapped.
Yeah.
I am trapped with Tom Brady, Trevor Lawrence, and Dak Prescott at quarterback.
So the thing is, I mean, there's only 4. I mean, you're 2-6. The top team is 6-2. Yeah, you are dead last. You are the worst. Actually, you know what? Kamke's.
Look at how many points have been scored against me.
Holy shit! I was just looking at that. That's like, it's almost 200 more than everyone.
Yeah, I've been just getting absolutely destroyed.
Wow.
At least I'm not losing close games.
Wow, that is a lot. Yeah. I mean, this is one of those years that someone who's barely makes the playoffs could easily win it all.
Yeah, for sure.
And now
I think I've missed my window, but
yeah, I mean, well, I don't know. You're only a game back of me, and I feel like I'm right there too. I mean, I'm 3-5, but and now we're in bye weeks too, so it's like,
yeah. So you're going to the tournament tomorrow?
I will be there. Are you not? Or are you?
I'm not going to be there for guys.
Okay.
But I'll be there. I'm going to pick up Wesley at like 11:30 and head up.
Okay. You guys play at 1. Girls play at 1 o'clock, right?
1 o'clock. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be there for girls for sure. I should be there for guys. That's my plan.
Yeah. So it could be a fun time. I would have to think the boys are probably going to win at least the first round. Boys are not going to win the first round. No, they're going to get hammered.
I don't know. I think they could. I mean, so they played Tulsa East. So first off, they're lucky because Catholic Memorial should then Tulsa East would be like, oh, we're the 3. I thought Catholic Memorial would be the 3. And Catholic Memorial is good. And Tulsa East is good. So Tulsa East and North played once before, maybe more than once, but I think it's only once. Tulsa East beat them.
Okay. I didn't know that.
It was in a tournament in Brookfield Central. They beat them, I think, 2 out of 3 sets.
Okay.
It was close. We played Tulsa East that tournament, or no, we played Tulsa East then in Middleton, like a month later or a few weeks later. They throttled us. I see. It's weird because like they did not use Tate at all when they played us Saturday. Like that's the conference player of the year.
Yeah, he I think may have been sick.
Okay.
I'm guessing. He I know he was struggling a little bit from what I saw. So the games that I've gone to, he's played a lot better than that.
Yeah. And he wasn't
I don't think he played poorly. I just don't think they were setting him up very well.
He wasn't hungover like the entire girls volleyball team last year was.
That's a rumor.
A confirmed rumor by many, many people. Sorry, I just had to throw that in there.
That's right.
And we'll see if you guys get to Saturday, what you guys will look like. Because North plays Friday night for football.
They do at Bayport.
Yeah. I don't think they used him a lot. Like he looked better than that. What's your take on this? So I don't want to take anything away from Gavin Tate. He's a great volleyball player.
Yeah.
So he's the player of the year. He doesn't play back row.
No.
So you're talking like I think to myself, like, if you want to give me the best volleyball player, you know what I mean? Like, it's someone who plays the entire time, who is good at the net and good in the front row and is good at the bat at digging, passing and all. Like, I get it. Like, I understand the thinking, and I'm going to do a whole podcast on all conference teams when this year is done with. I had this written down from 2 years ago. This has nothing to do with my kids. This is from another kid, actually, from Kaukauna for basketball. But like, I get it. North was undefeated. We probably should give the player of the year to a kid from North. But like, half the game you don't play.
Yeah, and it's kind of like the same argument. Can a baseball DH win MVP?
Never.
I don't think so. But in volleyball, I don't necessarily know that playing all the way around always necessarily indicates the best players. It's just what works best for the team. In volleyball, a lot of it is flow and who fits where. There's not a defensive element, but he does block.
Right. He blocks when he's in the front row.
but he doesn't do serve receive. So there is that element that's not part of the game. So a lot of your best players, do play all the way around.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Having watched the game a lot, I mean, I think it's just the way you kind of look at it. Like, should the best all around player be the MVP, or should the most impactful player be the MVP? I think it's kind of the argument.
Or should the best team get the player of the year just because they're the best team in the conference?
Yeah, I hope not.
I think that's what kind of happened, but again, I don't want to take anything away from him, but I want to get your opinion because you've been watching volleyball for years, and I'm new at this, so I see it, and Caden tells me, kid's like, Dad, it's not that big of a deal. It's just the way it works. I'm like, well, it may be the way it works, but it's kind of a big deal that some kids play the entire fucking game. Like that's a lot of energy. You don't get to take a break at all. You're constantly doing something. They have to be doing something.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I do think there should be some credit given to the kids that play all the way around in terms of their impact on the game when they never leave.
Yeah.
So I do think that should be taken into account. Gavin, he does serve too.
Yep, he does.
So, I mean, there's some of that. So the higher the level, it seems, from what I've watched as far as like club volleyball, and I know Caden's played some club volleyball, usually at those levels, the kids never play all the way around. You almost never have a kid that spins. It's almost always front row, back row players. And so, I think probably someone who knows even more about volleyball than I do could better answer your question. But yeah. I get your point. But again, it's most impactful versus best all around, and no doubt he's an impactful player.
Yeah. No, I mean he's great. I was curious. I just didn't know what people thought about it. That's all.
That was the game against Kimberly over the weekend was definitely not North's best game. They looked very nervous and played poorly at times. So, and I thought Kimberly's guys, really brought it and pushed them to the brink, and they really had them. It probably going in that fourth set. I don't know. Momentum's huge in the sport, and it just kind of swung back in North's favor in that fourth set. And
actually, that's one comment. Someone was actually watching. Benzie Boy 1011. I don't know. We also had some spam stuff, but this one said, anyway, you can do a basketball recruiting podcast soon. Maybe interview Evan Flood. Hoop season is basically here. You need to interview Flood. I'm like, I just interviewed Flood 2 months ago. And I said I'm going to do it again next month, most likely. So,
yeah.
Anyways.
So, Kimberly football is where?
At Wanakee.
Man, that's tough.
Mm-hmm.
That is going to be really tough.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, obviously you're not going to the football game because you guys.
No, I'm not going to any football.
Hopefully, we're playing Friday.
Yeah, if the unimaginable happens tomorrow afternoon, then I'll have a decision to make. But
are they in Hudson?
Now, North is at Bayport.
Oh, Bayport. Yeah, that's right. You said that. I'm sorry. They were at Hudson last week. That's right.
At Hudson last week.
Yeah, I forgot we were already 2 weeks in.
Yeah.
Oh, Bayport will be tough.
Bayport will be tough. I know Bayport's conference is kind of the question mark because it's obviously not as good as the FEA, but that doesn't, Bayport's traditionally really good. So it'll be, and it's up there. Weather's supposed to be bad Friday night, from what I understand.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, rain.
Ooh.
So this warm patch is supposed to really end tomorrow, and then mid 50s and rain comes in.
Okay.
And I think that's going to affect a lot of things Friday night.
That definitely would.
Yeah. So.
All righty.
Okay. That was a quick one.
Yeah. I'll see you tomorrow at volleyball.
Sounds good.
All right. Talk to you later.